it didn't change the purpose and the assignment. And somebody can learn something from that, because sometimes we feel like when we face certain hardships or inconveniences, rather, I would say, that it means that we're not supposed to be doing something. But can I tell you that that's not always true? Like sometimes the hardship or the inconvenience is as a result of the enemy not wanting you to lock into what God is trying to get you to do. We made it. 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 Y'all, can I just tell y'all how at this point I have tried to record this video at least 5 times. The first couple of times I recorded it on the wrong platform on my computer and it did not save. And no matter how much I looked up on the internet to see if I could recover it, I could not recover it. And then I just recorded it again on this platform and it saved, but it ain't right. So here we are again, taking a shot at this again for what I'm calling and what I have coined as Inner Talks with C. Okay? I'm so excited to just introduce myself, one, and talk to you all about the purpose of what this is or how it even came about. So, I'm Sierra Stewart. C, Inner Talks with C. I'm C. C is my nickname. Yeah. But I'm Sierra Stewart, and I serve in my community currently as a licensed clinical mental health counselor. I know that's a mouthful, but basically, I'm a therapist in North Carolina, and I work with clients. I'm not working with children right now, but I'm working with adults, mostly women, around a variation of different things: life transitions, communications, relationship, marriage, boundaries, self-esteem, trauma, anxiety, depression, all of those things, to help them to be able to come towards balance and wholeness in what they're experiencing in everyday life, not to rid them of problems because problems are inevitable, but to help them to better manage when they do have problems. So that's what I do day to day. I am a believer. You got to say what you're a believer of and in these days. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Bible. I believe that the Word of God is the infallible truth. And I believe that Jesus and therapy can do coincide. And that's going to be kind of the framework or making of these conversations, because a lot of times I believe in church, we do get the word, but a lot of times in day-to-day life, based on what we've experienced, we don't know how to walk it out. And so a lot of these conversations that we will be having here are about the walkout, like are about the boundaries that you have to set or the communication that you have to have around things that are just hard to talk about but need to be talked about because it helps on the other side. And so the purpose of this podcast is just that. So I'm a believer. I'm a wife to my wonderful husband. We have been married for 8 years, together for 11 years. And just within that time alone, he has taught me so much about myself. Okay? Because just because I'm a therapist don't mean I got it all together. And there are still things that the Lord is highlighting to me and working out of me. There are still things that he highlighting to me about me as, a wife that I have to work on and that I am working on. And so that's another area of my life. And I'm also a mom. I have 3 beautiful children with my husband. Denver is my oldest. He's my 6-year-old. River is 4. She's my middle child, my girl, my only girl. And Hunter is my baby boy, and he is 7 months. And look, parenting, that's a whole nother life lesson. The Lord be showing me so many lessons through parenting, like every single day, every night. I'm like, Lord, I repent. I could have responded better. Denver, I apologize. River, I'm sorry. I could have said that better. But it's teaching me, it's training me. And I'm grateful to be able to have the different areas of which God has given me to be able to train me to be more like what He would have for me to be. So yeah, those are some areas of who I am. Of course, there's a slew of other things, a sister, a friend, all of the other things that we could name, but those are some of the frameworks of where I'm getting the most work on myself, okay? And so the purpose of this, right? So I've kind of talked a little bit about the purpose, but I was having a conversation with a friend not too long ago, and just asking me how I was. And usually, if I'm being honest, I don't really tell a lot of people how I am, because I feel like you get asked that question a lot, like, oh, hey, how you doing, how are you? And people are just like, good, and keep it moving. That's normally the conversation. Some people are not really ready to hear how you're doing and be able to, and not even only not ready, but not able to speak into if you are going through something, like being able to be an encouragement. But this particular person actually was. I just try to be very considerate of, like, oh, you got a lot of stuff going on, I don't want to, but asked once, asked again, and that time I was just like saying all of the things, right? And so then we got into conversations around, work and therapy and what that looks like. And a lot of being a therapist is a lot of in front of each other, face to face contact, communication with clients and all of the things. But the good thing about therapy is that you can use your license for a lot of different avenues. It just doesn't have to be in front of someone, client work. But that's the work that I enjoy the most. But there's also other ways that I'm just like, I feel like it's just something else. Like, it's not like, this can't be the only avenue in which I'm doing this specific thing that I was talking to this friend in particular about. And we just started talking, and in the conversation, it was highlighted like therapy is just an avenue, but that's not the gifting. Like, the gifting is your voice. So you have to use your voice in other places, in order to be able to feel that void of what you feel around what else it is for you to be doing. And it was like, if you've ever been at therapy, when your clients have like aha moments, like something just clicked for you. And at that moment, something just clicked for me. And I was like, you know what? That is true. And then I'm thinking through sessions that I've had in the past where clients are like, why don't you have this recorded somewhere so I can like go back and listen to what we be talking about, or stuff that we've talked about that could potentially be helpful for me at another time. Like, why can't I go back and listen to that? And then just like, the recording of social media and having to do all of the things anyway, it's like, why are you not using your voice in another way through podcasting to be able to talk to some of the things that you can't talk about in little snippets on social media? And then the Lord just confirmed it in all of the conversation. And at that point, it was almost like the pivot got highlighted in my head. And that's why this episode is entitled The Pivot, because the pivot represents, like, let's look up the definition, just the definition in general of what pivot means. Okay, we doing this together. So a pivot is the central point, pin, or shaft on which a mechanism turns, like turns in a different direction. This is another one as a verb, turn on or as if on a pivot. And then we have completely changed the way in which one does something. And so when that popped in my head, it was like, there was like this shift that happened. Not that it ends therapy or that therapy is not something that I'm going to be doing, but that therapy is not the only thing that you're going to be doing. And so here we are. Here we came to this avenue because a lot of stuff just came up. And even so much so that, like, I knew it was God, because after I had the conversation with my friend, the name Inner Talks with C popped up to me. I ordered this little hot mic, and I was trying to talk myself out of, oh, I need this and I need that and I gotta have this to do it and I gotta have that to do it. And my friend that same night sent me a video that like annihilated all of what I thought I needed to be able to start and to do all of the things. And even more so than that, like I sat and started writing out a vision for it, write the vision, make it plain, right? And the Lord literally downloaded the first 5 episodes in that same time frame. And so even though at the beginning I was saying I went through a lot of, hardship to, not even hardship, but just like, ugh, come on, recording type things. It didn't change the purpose and the assignment. And somebody can learn something from that, because sometimes we feel like when we face certain hardships or inconveniences, rather, I would say, that it means that we're not supposed to be doing something. But can I tell you that that's not always true? Like sometimes the hardship or the inconvenience is as a result of the enemy not wanting you to lock into what God is trying to get you to do. And so if I can just throw her a little, inconvenience, or if I can just throw him a little argument or whatever the case may be, like it'll stop him on a journey to, or her on a journey to doing what the Lord called them to do. And then I won't have to worry about like purpose being fulfilled in their lives. And so I just believe that sometimes the hardship is the very thing that lets you know that you're going in the right direction. Now, sometimes it's self-inflicted, and we're not talking about them times. We'll get there at another day. But in this particular instance of what I'm talking about, these are purpose-driven hardships. That's good to me. Purpose-driven hardships. And so, yeah. So that's the reason for the why. And what this is going to be is real conversations about real topics to promote real healing. Because I can't tell you how many times people sit in front of me or have sat in front of me over the past almost 4 years in doing this and saying that they want to see change in their lives, that they want to grow, that they want to see better relationships, that they want to communicate better, that they want to do this and they want to do that, but they don't want to commit to the work that it takes to get there. There is always work on the other side of what you want. There is always work. And I think a lot of times we operate from a sense of like, oh, now faith, I got the faith. But the faith has to collide with the work, because let's just say if I would have had the faith to believe, or knowing that God told me to do something and he downloaded the episodes to me around what he wants me to talk about, and then I just don't record it. It doesn't matter at that point, because I wasn't obedient to the assignment in which he given me. And maybe he only gave me 5 initially because he's like, I want to see you walk out what I told you to do first before I give you the other side of what I want you to do, And so that's the purpose of what we're going to do. And then I try to reflect, biblically, of the things that I've told God. And I always tell him that I want to leave this world empty. Like I want to be empty of all the promises, the plans, the creativity, the desires in which you've given me to pour out, so that when I leave, I know that I've done my part of what you've called me to. And this is just another effort to that. Like this is just another way for me to do that. And so I'm excited for what the Lord is going to do, not only to reveal stuff that he's given to me to give to you, but also what he's revealing to me to give to me, because this is not only Inner Talks with C for other people. Like I am a firm believer that what I give to others, even in the therapy room, that I have to be able to stand in those same situations and keep the same energy that I'm expecting other people to keep. I don't believe in being a therapist that doesn't walk out what I preach or what I teach. And that doesn't mean I'm perfect. That does mean that I'm willing to evaluate and take a step back on where I need to change and where I need to shift, whether it be a relationship or whether it be a conversation that needs to be had. And so I'm just excited for what the Lord is going to do. And I'm excited that he's using me. And I just pray that whoever joins this or partners with me in this to even watch, that you get something out of it, and that you're able to have more difficult conversations with ease, or that you're able to have more like deepening conversations with those who are important to you, in marriage or in dating or in anything, or in work, or in, wanting to build entrepreneurship goals, like that you're able to go deeper in those things because you're willing to first look at yourself and evaluate where you are and what you have going on. And so, if you do join us on this journey, we're glad to have you. And if you don't, that's okay too. Every podcast is not for every person, just like every therapist is not for every person. I tell people that all the time. I might not be the therapist for you. Somebody else might be the therapist for you, but I might be the therapist for this particular person that I'm working with, So everything ain't for everybody. But all that to say, here we are. We starting on this journey together. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I know how to make stuff work, and I also know how to study to show thyself approved. So I will be doing my work on this side to make sure that I'm giving y'all what y'all need, okay? So for now, I'm signing out, but we will definitely be talking more soon with Inner Talks with C. So see y'all soon.